It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk, live from Tiger Club inside the Robins Center on the Fort Hays State Campus, is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, expertise, technology, compassion, all right here. BTI, your John Deere dealer with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. Eagle Radio, Hull Broadcasting, and HayesPost.com, keeping our community connected. And The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, pick up, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And a good afternoon and welcome to Tiger Talk. We are live at the Robins Center on the Fort Hays State University campus. Certainly glad to have you with us here on this Wednesday afternoon as we talk Fort Hays State athletics. We'll be talking some women's wrestling. Head coach Elijah Jeffrey will be joining us here in a little bit. Women's basketball with Coach Talia Cars and men's basketball with head coach Mark Johnson a little bit later on in the program. Again, we're live at the Robins Center, part of Tiger Club. And we certainly would love to see you join us by joining Tiger Club. You can contact the Fort Hays State Athletic Department about all of those details, but your membership goes to Fort Hays State Athletic Scholarships. Also, you can shoot us a question. Go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, fhsuathletics.com. Click on fans. You'll get the drop-down menu, and there, when you do that, you'll see Ask the Coach, submit your question, and a chance to win one of those Fort Hays State basketball T-shirts from Fort Hays State Athletics. All right, let's get you up to date on everything that happened last week. Of course, basketball at home, the men and women opening up MIAA play, and the men get a split and the women get a sweep. They beat both Central Missouri and Washburn by 30. They're now 9-0. One of 12 unbeatens in Division II women's basketball. They move up to number 6 in both of the national polls yesterday. The women off until next Thursday. They'll be at the Big Island Classic in Hilo, Hawaii, where they take on Truman State. Then next Friday, we'll take on Quincy out of the GLVC. The Tiger men beat Central Missouri in double overtime, lose at home to number 3 Washburn on Saturday. They're now 4-3. They'll be in Liberty, Missouri this Saturday to take on William Jewell. Then back at home Monday against Bethel College, and have a busy week next week as well with Regis and MSU Denver at home. Again, more with Talia Cars and Mark Johnson a little bit later on in the show. Men's wrestling hosted number 25 Ouachita Baptist in their MIAA opener on Saturday. Beat the Tigers 26-16. Then hosted the Bob Smith Open on Sunday. They had over 300 wrestlers, 23 different schools, 8 mats going. Tigers wrestled 33 in the event, picked up 34 total victories. Camden Padgett, he had 4 wins at 149. Drew Bell at 149, and Ryan Patterson at 197 had 3 wins apiece. Tigers at the 45th Midwest Classic. That'll be in Indianapolis this Saturday and Sunday. Women's wrestling, they're at the William Jewell Duels, and we'll talk more about it here in just a little bit. But a pretty good day. Went 4-1. Wins over number 7 Lindenwood, number 25 William Jewell, the William Jewell B team, and Missouri Baptist only lost to number 1 ranked Iowa. Women off until January 18th when they head to the York College Open in York, Nebraska. And indoor track and field open up their seasons. 2 different locations, Pittsburgh and Topeka. They had 2 first-place finishes at the Washburn Invitational. Hayden Albright, the 400. Jacob Clark, the pole vault at 17, 2 3/4. And right now, that's the best vault in the nation. Still early, but a good start for Clark, who was named the MIAA's Field Athlete of the Week this week. Annabeth Ballman, second in the women's pole vault, and Reba Mader finishing second in the women's 400. Ethan Salmons placing second in both the 60-meter dash and the 60 hurdles at the Boo Rogers combined events in Pittsburgh. Emily Dirks finishing second in the 5,000 meters at the Crimson and Gold Invitational hosted by Pittsburgh State. The Tigers indoor track team at the UNK pre-holiday classic this Friday in Kearney, Nebraska. So that gets you up to date with everything that's been taking place over the last week. Still have a few more weeks before everybody gets a little break for Christmas. Kansas Department of Transportation and the Drive to Zero Coalition invite you to join fans of the plan. If you're going to be drinking, always designate a sober driver. We'll take a time out. We'll talk some women's wrestling. Coach Elijah Jeffrey joins us after the break on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PWC.
He bobbles it to the 10-5, touchdown.
It's to the edge, and Hayes High's going to win this football game. Johnny Rigler is on the spot.
Then fire up the three, and they can hold us and swirls.
Launches a three, bang, nothing but net.
Second, it's dropped in left field, and we are tied as 5 touchdowns.
He didn't get down, Hayes High wins in overtime.
Tigers want to run. Levy through 2 defenders, finds a cutting DeGarmo for a layup. 4 for DeGarmo. 8-0 run for the Tigers. They lead 10-4. They have some of the action from last Thursday and Fort Hays State's win over Central Missouri. We'll talk more with women's coach Talia Kars here in just a little bit. Need to remind you, Tiger Talk brought to you tonight, or this afternoon, by Golden Belt Bank. Your life has a story. Golden Belt Bank wants to get to know that story. Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis. Visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. Joined now by Elijah Jeffrey, the women's wrestling coach here at Fort Hays State University. Tigers in their first, I guess, official season, although they had wrestlers a year ago, and off to a great start, 7-2 in duels. You got 4 of those wins this past weekend in Liberty at the William Jewell Duels. Welcome to the show, and congratulations on the great start. I imagine you're pleased with how things have gone so far with your team.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very pleased. We've wanted to go out there and see some of the top competition in the country. I knew that we had a very, very tough and well put together team, but we just needed to see where we matched up with those top teams. So we went out to the duels at William Jewell. We knew we were going to see a couple top 10 opponents, number 1 ranked Iowa, number 7 ranked Lindenwood, and it went about as good as we could have hoped for. We lost to Iowa, but we wrestled them incredibly tough, and then we came away with wins over number 7 ranked Lindenwood and also number 25 ranked William Jewell.
Well, talk about leading up to this. Obviously, you had the program a year ago. You had wrestlers who would wrestle, I guess, unattached because it wasn't officially under Fort Hays State. But now it's the first full season, and you're going out and traveling everywhere to find the competition. Just what's it been like now for your team to wrestle as Fort Hays State wrestlers?
It's been awesome. You know, last year we had the opportunity to just train and prepare. But this year we've gone out, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been really good for building our team and building our culture. And you know, we're traveling and trying to find those best teams. We opened the year starting off with a top 10 team. Our first competition as a program, going out and dueling Colorado Mesa, and it went well. We did well at the open tournament, but it's been really good having that opportunity to go out and compete as a team and also find some success as a team.
And obviously, women's wrestling continues to grow in popularity. We see it at the high school level, now at the collegiate level, but it's not an MIAA sanctioned sport yet, I guess, and I think that will hopefully eventually change. But what's it been like finding the competition? I mean, you look at your schedule, and you're facing a lot of vast array of schools out there. What's it been like just to get the schedule with all the competition?
Yeah, so really it just came down to finding out where these ranked opponents would be at the NCAA level. You know, we know some of the RMAC schools are in there, and then, you know, we have to travel east out into Missouri and north up into Nebraska, and our regional tournament will be out in Texas. But it really is just about finding where these teams will be and going to find NCAA competition to compete against.
All right, we'll talk about your team a little bit, but you mentioned the Jewell Duels in Liberty. You beat number 7 Lindenwood 23-20, number 25 William Jewell 27-18, beat their B team 43-0. Had the loss to Iowa, and then you knock off Missouri Baptist. Just talk about the day in Liberty and just the matches you faced, because as you said, performed really well, got a couple of wins over ranked squads, and even though I know the score looks lopsided against Iowa, you're happy with how you competed against them.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew that Iowa was going to be tough. They have, I believe, 6 of the number 1 ranked wrestlers in the country on their roster. But our goal was to come out there and fight hard and wrestle a clean 6 minutes, and that's what we did. Even some of the matches that didn't go our way easily could be switched up, and we wanted to see them early. We're going to be seeing them again come the national tournament, and our goal is to make some adjustments and be able to come away with wins in some of those matches.
Well, tell us about your team a little bit. Who has been standing out here early going in this season?
Yeah, so with yesterday the new open mat wrestling rankings came out, and we actually had 5 wrestlers that are now appearing in the top 20. Every week we've added more and more wrestlers to the national rankings. So 124, Lexi Lopez, she has had an excellent year so far. She placed at the Missouri Valley Open, which is the toughest open tournament in first semester. A lot of teams from across the country are there. So being able to place at that tournament is equivalent to placing at a national level tournament. And she's ranked number 12 in the country. She's ranked as high as number 6 on the Flow Wrestling ranking. So she's had an excellent year. And then at 131, we've had 2 wrestlers that have really stepped up and had some big nationally ranked wins. And Jamie Laswell out of Arizona, she has been doing really well and found a lot of success. She's ranked number 13. And then also at that weight class, Amanda Yeager out of Colby, Kansas, she's ranked number 17. And then Nikki Moore, she's one of our transfers, came in from McKendree. She stepped up into a leadership role right away and has been finding success. She's also in the national rankings, number 11, and then as high as number 5 in the Flow Wrestling rankings. And then just this last ranking cycle, our 180-pounder, Isabella Renfro, has climbed into the rankings at number 19. So half the weight classes we have represented right now in the national rankings, and we plan to just keep pushing and climbing those rankings.
That's exciting to have all that success there early on. I know we've touched on it a little bit, but what was it like when you build a program from scratch and you brought in some transfers, but with the high school wrestling becoming so much more prevalent, what was it like to get that mix of veterans and maybe new faces just in building your roster here for the first season? Yeah,
absolutely. So we wanted to find the right culture. We wanted to build something that was going to last long term. So we were lucky enough to have some transfers come in that had experience and could show leadership right away to help these younger wrestlers and these freshmen coming in just understand what it is to be a college wrestler and living the right lifestyle. So we had a combination of high-level high school athletes and then some high-level transfers come in that really put our program in the right place. And then, it was a lot of, last year was a lot of recruiting. We got to talk with wrestlers, talk with families, and talk with coaches to find the wrestlers that we thought would be a very good fit for what we were trying to do and the right culture we were trying to build.
And it sounds like you've got good competition in the wrestling room as well to help build, obviously, depth, but just help make everybody better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think practice partners go a long ways in building the right program. So we have high-level wrestlers at every weight class, and we're deep at every weight class, so we're able to get that competition and those high-level matches in the room every day.
I know wrestling is an individual sport, obviously, but it's also a team sport, and you mentioned culture and all of those things. I mean, do you have a style you like to do? Or I'm sure it varies, obviously, wrestler to wrestler. Everybody's got their own unique, but just an attitude or an approach that you guys like to take with your team?
Yeah. I mean, we really keep it very simple. We wrestle hard for 6 minutes, and we work to win the next position. Those are the things we preach. We have a lot of fun while we're doing it. And if you were to watch us go out there and wrestle, we're going to be the wrestlers that are wrestling the entire match. We don't give an inch, and we're happy to go out there and compete. I know sometimes wrestling is a grueling sport, but it can be fun, and when you have fun, good things happen.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your schedule, because it's kind of unique in the fact that you had the big duels last week. Now you don't wrestle again until January 18th, so that's a long time away. How do you handle that with your team? Obviously, it's going to take a lot of self-discipline. Mm-hmm. Girls go home for the holidays, and then they have to get back and train a little bit. But just how do you go about this long break with your team between events?
Yeah, so the college wrestling season is a fairly long one. It's different than high school season. So some of these wrestlers coming right out of high school, this break is good. they're making adjustments to the longer season. Just a little bit of a reset is good for them, and healing up their bodies and making sure that they're good to go for that second semester. We'll do some different things like match simulations in the room to make sure that we're still ready for competition, but also I think that reset is pretty good for us.
Let's talk about this. You'll come back on the 18th. You'll go to York. You'll go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Grandview Open in Des Moines. You go to Hastings. You'll face Chadron in there, and then it's on to the regionals. Just talk about the competition, what you're going to face when you get back from the holiday break. Yeah,
so the York Open has been a tournament that's been around for a while now, and we have the opportunity to see some good competition out there. So our goal is to go in there and just continue to do what we do and wrestle hard and try to walk away with some wins. And as we advance through the year, the Grandview Open is a very tough tournament. We'll see a lot of competition that we'll most likely see again at the national tournament. So that's really our last opportunity to go out there and see some teams from across the country, and then we'll finish up with some duels, hopefully walk away with some wins, seeing Sioux Falls, another Division II program, Hastings, an NAI, and then Chadron State, also another Division II. We plan to go in there and just continue to wrestle hard and hopefully walk away with 3 dual wins to finish up the season.
How does the postseason work for the women's side of wrestling?
So it is pretty similar to on the men's side. It is broken up into regions. Each region will have a tournament where you have to place top 4 to qualify for the national tournament. So our region is going to be at Texas Women's University in Denton, Texas. We'll travel 15 wrestlers out there. We can travel 2 at half of the weight classes, and then all 15 of those wrestlers have the opportunity to qualify for the national tournament.
Well, that'll be fun, and as you see when you get back from Christmas, it seems like it goes quick, and that gets here before you know it. Anything else you want to add with us before we let you go here this afternoon?
No, I think that's it. You know, we didn't have a whole lot of home competitions on the schedule this year, but our goal is to keep bringing more competitions to Fort Hays.
And I was going to ask you earlier, and I kind of slipped my mind, but the women's Bob Smith Open, had a chance to do that a couple of weeks ago. Looks like everything went really well for that event. Yeah, it went really well. We walked away with champions at 6 of the 10 weight classes, and gave our wrestlers the opportunity to compete again in front of a home crowd. I'm guessing that's something that's going to continue to grow and grow and grow, just like it has on the men's side. That'll be fun to have that every year. Yes, absolutely. We plan to just keep it growing, and our goal is for it to be one of the top NCAA tournaments in the country. All right, sounds good. Elijah, appreciate it. Congratulations on the great start. I guess enjoy the break here a little bit, and we'll talk to you again after you get back after the first of the year. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. There you go. That is Elijah Jeffrey. He is the women's wrestling coach at Fort Hays State, off to a 7-2 dual start. Tiger Talk today brought to you by the Taco Shop, where you can order by phone. You can use the Taco Shop app. Dine-in, carry-out, delivery. They're just east of the Fort Hays State campus on A Street. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. We'll take a break. We'll talk women's basketball with Coach Talia Kars here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC.
Being a foster grandparent has definitely given me a purpose in life.
Just been so happy, just so much more energy than being at home alone doing nothing but watching TV. It's the best part of my life.
Best part of being a foster grandparent volunteer, watching the light up in the kids' eyes.
I'm living again, and the foster grandparent did that for me.
Dilsaver almost stole the inbound pass. Washburn has it. Now she does it midcourt. She ripped it away from Davison. Lead pass to Garmo. Goes in for the left-handed layup, and it's good. Kate Dilsaver gets a steal. Katie DeGarmo gets a layup. It is 16-4. Fort Hays State, their largest lead here in the first 10 minutes of this one. Yeah, they're going to win it by 30 on Thursday night over Central Missouri. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's presented by the Hays Med Orthopedic Institute, the most comprehensive orthopedic care in western Kansas. Let the experts at Hays Med Orthopedic help you move freely. Learn more at haysmed.com/orthopedics. We're joined now by women's basketball coach Talia Kars. Tigers 9-0, up to number 6 in both national polls after a couple of 30-point home conference wins over Central Missouri and Washburn. Congratulations. Obviously, great start, off to a 2-0 start, but to win both by 30, that was quite something by your team. Played really, really well in the last 2 games.
Yeah, no, we did. We did a great job of just coming out ready to go. And I think those teams probably maybe aren't as as good as they've been in the past, but I was really proud of the girls in the way that they showed up and battled and didn't let up and continued to maintain the lead that we built right away and just continue to do the things that we were doing and doing them really well.
Yeah, and you're right. I think Central Missouri, and they're kind of in a phase where they've got some young players and trying to figure it out after losing a big group, and Washburn's been trying to rebuild their program, although they came in with a 500 record in that game. So it probably is a little bit, they maybe aren't as strong as they've been, but I also thought you guys played well, and especially on the defensive end. Both of those games are really good. And that first half against Washburn, they scored 12 points. That was, I don't care who you are. That's crazy good. You got to be really happy with the way this team is really locked in defensively.
Yeah, they were missing their starting 5-man, so that hurt them quite a bit. But their guard is averaging over 20 points a game, and we held her to 8. And so when you can hold their leading scorer to half of the points she normally scores, that's frustrating for the other team. And so we did a phenomenal job on defense in the first half, and just understanding what they were trying to do and making sure that they didn't get to do it.
I'm not going to say what's changed defensively, because it's not like you were a bad defensive team, but it just feels like it's taken another step this year. What's the difference, and what was maybe the reason why you guys seem to be a little bit better on the defensive end?
Yeah, I'm actually meeting with players this week, and kids that aren't getting a lot of minutes at the end of the bench I was talking to today specifically, and they show up every day like they're starters. They show up every day, and every day in practice it's a grind, and they're working hard, and they're pushing the starters to get better, and that's huge. And I told them, like, the second you guys stop doing that, the second we get worse. Even though you guys aren't getting to see them play in games, they're showing up every day in practice, and they're making the kids that get to play in games a lot more better. And so as a whole, our whole group every day, it's so fun for me to coach. Every day in practice. There's been maybe 2 days. We've had 41 practices in regular season already. I can think of two days that I was like frustrated. They're just a fun group, and they're excited to be there, and they're working really hard, and we're just getting better.
And I guess we heard Coach Jeffrey talk about building culture. I guess it goes to that. You've had success for a while, and even though they're new players, they've watched the veterans and how they go about their business each and every day, and that's how you sustain success year in and year out. But you're right, that's not always the case, and it's exciting when those young players do that, and that's how they get better as well.
Yeah, it is. And our returners, and then Katie and Liv specifically, that have been here for 5 years, and even Megan and Kate that have been here for 4 years, they're great leaders, and then that just trickles down to the rest of them, and then the bottom of them that aren't playing as much, they're just great teammates, and the combo of both, it's a magical combination.
Mentioned Brooke Levy. She's scoring a lot more this year. Is that just something that's evolved, or have you guys asked her maybe to pick up the offensive load a little bit?
I just gave her the confidence to know that she has the green light to do it if she sees the opportunity to, and she's always willing to make the pass, and when she has the opportunity to go, she needs to go, and I think she's recognizing that more, and her confidence is also just continuing to grow every day, and she's just taken on that point guard role really well and knows where everybody needs to be and gets the ball right where it needs to go.
And we've seen her and Kate Dilsaver do a better job of finishing at the basket, because they've had the knack to get there since they've been a Tiger. They haven't always done a good job of making the baskets. Obviously, that's something they've worked on, but that's been a big shot in the arm to see them finish when they get to the rim, because they both have the ability to do that.
Yeah, no, they do a great job of getting there, and I think that still comes back to confidence. Is I'm going to go into the defense and create contact instead of fading away because maybe I don't want to, and they're just going in. If they make it, great. If they get a foul, great, and not worrying about what the outcome is because they know they can do it.
We talked about her a little bit last week on the show, but Ellie Stearns had another good week, and it's fun to see her now stack good game on good game, and we've talked about it. She does all the little things all the time. Most of them don't show up in a stat sheet but help you get wins, but now she's doing the things that do show up in the stat sheet. That's exciting.
Yeah, no, she's shooting the ball really well right now, and she's catching ready to shoot, but again, comes back to confidence. And I think every player on the court, they're doing their role and those things that we need them to do really well, and then those things that we don't really need them to do but are capable of doing, they're also doing. And so then we're seeing really great things happen because they're doing the role and on top of it making something else happen. So it's been really fun.
Been fun to watch, and I know we talked about Telexa Weeder, the sophomore, but she had another good week. And just, I mean, she can come in and be some instant offense for you at times. And you've touched on it before that maybe she doesn't even realize how good she is offensively, but just had another good week. And it feels like she's getting better on the defense and all those other things that are probably the hardest to adjust to when you come from high school to the collegiate level.
Yeah, I mean, she has a knack for putting the ball in the hoop in a kind of an unorthodox way, and so I think that's why she can score a lot, because the defender has no idea what to do. And she can score at all three levels. And then defensively, yeah, she's really kind of getting the hang of what we're trying to do. I mean, she's got to guard Liv a lot of times in practice, and so she's got to get better. She's going to get scored on every single time, and she's really stepped that up and done a good job of adjusting, and you're seeing her continue just to get better.
Speaking of Liv, 14 rebounds in the Central Missouri game. She's always been good. She's been a good rebounder, but that was a career night for her, and that was fun to see her grab those caroms as well.
Yeah, I mean, Liv's kind of on a mission. She's just not taking no for an answer and has a knack for getting herself open, and we have a knack for figuring out how to get her the ball, and she's finishing really well around the basket. But defensively, she's right, I think, 1 or 2 in steals in the conference right now for a 5-man is just kind of unreal. So just has a knack for knowing where the ball is on defense too.
I think she had 4 of them the other day in the Washburn game. All right, you've had a little bit of a break. You played last Saturday. You don't play again until next Thursday in Hawaii, the Big Island Classic. Obviously, finals going on this week. How have you handled the finals period and then the time off between your next game, I guess?
We've practiced the last 2 days. We're doing some individual workouts today. Told them it was probably good for their brains to get in the gym for just a little bit, that they get stressed out about finals. They take their academics so seriously, and so I felt like it was probably good for us to take an hour in the last 2 days just to move around a little bit, give yourself a brain break, and so we've done that, and it sounds like finals are going well. So hopefully by the end of the week they can just get that out of the back of their mind, and we can continue to focus on basketball over the weekend.
And then on to Hawaii, the Big Island Holiday Classic. Truman State next Thursday, Quincy on Friday, and a couple of teams from the GLVC, one former MIAA foe. A little bit about the 2 teams you're playing and this trip, obviously a great experience.
Yeah. Truman's played some MIAA teams, and they're about 500 right now. They have a former MIAA player from Western on their team, some Iowa kids that our Iowa kids know. So there's some rivalry there. They're excited to play Truman just because of who they know on that team. So we'll see a little different look. They don't have a big, really, so they're kind of 5-out, more guard style. So that'll be a different look. And then Quincy has to face off the number 1 team in the nation this Friday, and then they face us on next Friday. And so they'll have their work cut out for them this next week. But talented, a decent team, decent record, and should both be good games for us to hopefully win.
And, you go to Hawaii, obviously an exciting trip, but I'm sure you're going to approach it. This is a business trip. Mm-hmm. Basketball comes first, and we'll have some fun.
Yeah, not as much of a fun trip if you don't get the wins. So definitely our focus when we get there, we have about 2 days of practice and maybe a little bit of fun, but not a lot before our games. And then hopefully Saturday, Sunday, we can have some fun after we get a couple wins.
All right, sounds good. Well, Coach, we appreciate it. Congratulations on the great start. And I guess when we'll see you next, we'll be in Hawaii.
Yeah, Gerard gets to come.
Yeah, how about that? Nice deal. Merry Christmas for me. All right. It's Talia Cars, head coach of the Tigers. And again, there will be, obviously the games will be on the radio. It'll be nighttime here in Kansas, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., the 2 starts. However, you can watch it. There'll be live stream. You go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, and the folks putting on the Big Island Holiday Classic will have a web stream for all of those games. And you can look your best on Tiger Game Day with official Nike gear from BSN Sports and the Sideline Store. Go to Fort Hays State Athletics website, FHSUathletics.com. Click on Shop. There you'll find hundreds of products and designs, and they're all customizable. FHSUathletics.com. Click on Shop to open up the Tiger Team Store. Back after this on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at HaysPost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Back to Caleb Right wing. Gets a screen from Riley. Plays to Sean. Jump pass in the corner. Grill for three. It goes in! Kyle Grill's first three. He has 9. And Fort Hays State has their biggest lead of the game. 51-44. 5:17 to play. And the Mules call a timeout. Yeah, some of the action from Thursday, a thriller to open up MIAA play. Tigers beat the Mules in double overtime. Tiger Talk brought to you by BTI, your John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. Joined by men's head coach Mark Johnson. And it was a thriller on Thursday night. You get a double overtime win over Central Missouri, 70-67. We kind of touched on it after the game. You kind of had to win it a couple of times. Looked like after that grill 3 that you're going to be able to pull away, but give UCM credit. Came back and got it tied, but you made some big plays down the stretch and found a way to get a big double overtime win.
Yeah, really felt like you had to win that game, especially with Washburn coming in on Saturday. Again, we finally got some separation there late. I think we had the ball up 7 and the ball with 4.5 minutes to go, and then definitely got the turnover bug, and that just led them to 6 points right there, and didn't close regulation like you would want to. But was really pleased with our guys. I mean, in that moment, you can really get down when you felt like you've won the game and you just blew it and handed it to the other team. But we kept fighting in the overtimes and, got big stops at the end of regulation and again at the end of overtime. And, made some big plays. Obviously, Lucas had a couple big finishes there in regulation and overtime. Thought Caleb played fairly well outside of a couple bugaboos there at the end. Kyle was good against Sean. Sean probably played, if it wasn't conference, how much he would have played, I don't know. But he had 15 and 8 and was good for us. So happy for our guys. Thought showed a lot of resiliency and found a way to win the game. Yeah,
I think Sean had a stretch where he had like 2 or 3 offensive rebounds and got a stick back when that thing was in the balance, I think, in late in regulation when it looked like that may slip away. And he just seems, and we see this a lot with the transfers, that second year, they're just a different player, and he's always been a good offensive player, but now the defense, his rebounding, all of those other things seem to be stepping up as well.
Yeah, he's made a huge jump from last year for sure. Much better player and just being more mature with what he's doing. And a little bit like when we get into the Washburn game, I would say that's Washburn's whole team. They're kind of Sean. I mean, they're basically the same team from a year ago outside of one guy, but they've just made that jump of figuring out how hard you have to play, how physical you have to be, and how important every possession is on both ends of the floor and valuing every single thing you do. And Sean's made that jump, and I agree, especially our junior college kids. I feel like it takes them at least a semester, sometimes a whole year before they get it all figured out. Because even if you're an experienced kid with a little bit of experience, anytime you get to a new program, there's an adjustment, and it takes time.
Well, you got the win, and then you touched on it, the importance of that with Washburn, number 3 in the country. You knew it was going to be tough. And thought your guys really battled the entire game. Washburn had that little blitz there. I think a 20-5 run in that first half. They hit 4 straight threes at one point. Looked like they were going to run away with it. You made a couple little runs, but just couldn't quite get over the hump to beat them. But you had to be happy with the effort and the way your guys fought against, I think, one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of our losses this year, I just saw a deal. They have the teams ranked in our region. I mean, we've lost to the 1, 3, and 5, I think. They're all good teams, but we got to beat those teams. Mm-hmm. We've lost to some very good teams. We got to get over the hump there. The 2 biggest things that obviously turnovers, number 1, we just turned it over. They're shooting over 50%, I think 51% from the field for the year. They shot 47 against us, but if you take away I don't remember if it was 5 or 6 times where we just handed it to them and they went down and laid it in where you can't guard. We actually held them to 42%. So we guarded fine. We just turned it over too much. I mean, 19 turnovers. We had 11 turnovers. We might have had a chance to win. just did not do a good job. To their credit, they didn't trap the post. They haven't shown that all year. So that was something maybe we didn't do a good enough job getting ready for. Just all of us involved didn't handle it very well. Like I said, the players didn't handle it very well, and the coaches didn't handle it very well. We got to do a better job helping our guys in that moment too, but we just turned it over too much, so that was a disappointment. Thought we battled. Obviously, we had some things going against us there, especially when Caleb went down. He tried to keep going, but he couldn't really move. And then the other part of it was we couldn't stop the shorter kid early. Yeah. He just got loose, and that's what we keep talking about, trying to find another defender. With RJ's situation, he just couldn't go. He played 30 minutes on Thursday, which he's not supposed to, but he just wanted to get out there and double overtime, and he was the guy guarding the ball late in the clock both times to get the stops we needed. We just need to find another perimeter defender that can take on that challenge when you have two good guards, because most teams in MIAA are going to have more than one good guard, and we need another guy to step up on the perimeter and be able to defend.
How's Caleb doing with that hip?
I was very optimistic before practice today. He felt good to practice, and he was doing fine, and then he planted and just must have planted the wrong way. So he went a little bit backwards, but he'll play Saturday. I mean, he will play. Sean still we look like at times at practice, I was telling Dixie, we look like a team that plays in the over 40 league. There's a lot of back braces, Bengay, and BioFreeze going on. So, but hopefully, I think they'll be ready to go. And we got a big challenge. William Jewell has a nice team, a little bit. They got the injury situation. They've had two starters out their last couple games. If we play that team, I feel really good. When they're full go, they're awfully talented. They got beat at the buzzer at Western on the road in overtime and played Washburn very difficult in Topeka. And then their only home game against them, I believe, was Emporia, and they won by, I think, 15 or 16. So when they're fully healthy, they're good. They're just, right now they got two starters out, and that's hard to overcome. So we'll see. It was a week ago since the last time they played, so I'm anticipating those guys back. So it'll be a tough challenge.
All right, Tiger Athletics proud to partner with the Kansas Drive to Zero Coalition, encouraging you to join Tiger fans of the plan. Always have a designated driver or other sober ride to and from your destination. We will take another break, be back with more here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC.
When it comes to screen printing and embroidery, your first choice should be Redeem Designs in Hayes. Turn it up with Redeem Designs, where it's not just about the products, it's about the partnership. At Redeem Designs, you're part of the process. They work closely with you to ensure your vision comes to life. So turn up your 2024-25 season with Redeem Designs.
Lucas driving, spinning, gets to the rim, can't shoot, now does, and he put it in! Lucas Hammock, he ties it with a little left-hand floater. Looked like he was going to pass it out, but then he leaned in one final time and ties it up at 59. Yeah, some of the action from Thursday, that double overtime win over Central Missouri. The Tigers, as Coach mentioned, at William Jewell on Saturday. Tiger Talk brought to you by BTI, your John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. You mentioned William Jewell, first meeting. You kind of gave us a good scouting report on them. And then you come back home next week, and then you'll have Bethel on Monday. And then you have two good RMAC teams in Regis and MSU Denver. It's kind of strange, but you're going here into the holiday break, and you've got some really big games for your team here in this next 2-week stretch, week and a half stretch, really.
Yeah, we play 4 games in 8 days to finish, and all against most of them are pretty good competition. William Jewell obviously on the road. Bethel's given us problems in the past. That'll be a quick turnaround getting home.
It was your last double overtime game. It was Bethel.
Yeah. Luckily Brady hit some threes. I remember that. And then we play Regis and Metro. I think they're preseason 2 and 3. Metro's coach told when we played Mines that this is the best team he's had. We scrimmage Mines. I would assume Metro's the odds-on favorite to win the RMAC this year. So we got very good competition to finish the first semester here.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it, and we'll see you Saturday in Liberty.
All right, thanks, Rick.
That's Mark Johnson, coach of the Tigers. Again, Fort Hays State and William Jewell. That'll be a 1 p.m. tip. We'll be on the air at 12:30 on the Tiger Sports Network and Tiger Radio Mix 103.3 with the Auto World pregame show. One more show here for this year. That'll be next Wednesday. Dustin Armbruster will be filling in as I make the sacrifice and go to Hawaii to cover the women's basketball team. So I will talk to you all after the first of the year. We'll see you back here next Wednesday on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network.
Tiger Talk, live from Tiger Club inside the Robins Center on the Fort Hays State Campus.